Up next on WTXP, a séance with Randalph Scott, entitled Dancing with the Unknown.
Ah, my precious Nevermourned, tonight we do not simply tell a tale, no. Tonight we step into the abyss, take its cold, clammy hand, and waltz with the unknown. I, Randalph Scott, actor, scholar of the macabre, and the voice that whispers to you in the dead of night, will commune with forces beyond your fragile comprehension. This, dear Nevermourned, is no mere ghost story. This is a séance, and you, unfortunate listeners, are now witnesses. Now, skeptics, doubters, naysayers, yes, I hear you scoffing behind your screens, clutching your rationality like a child clings to a blanket. But let us not forget that the history of the séance is steeped in both deception and undeniable mystery. Consider the Fox sisters of 1848. Two young women who claimed to communicate with spirits through raps on their walls, sparking an entire movement of spirit tapping and parlor room necromancy. Were they frauds? History suggests so, but tell me, dear Nevermourned, what if there were those who did not need fraud? What if among the charlatans and tricksters there existed a handful of souls who could genuinely peel back the veil? And so, with all the drama and theatrics befitting a man of my esteemed reputation, I shall call forth a guest from beyond the veil. Tonight we reach into the great beyond and invite Edgar Allan Poe. Yes, a master of the macabre, a man who breathed melancholy and exhaled torment. If anyone still lingers in the inky void, it must be he. Ah, rapping, how fitting. You, dear Nevermourned, may believe that was mere coincidence, but I have long since abandoned the shackles of chance. We shall proceed. Spirits that dwell beyond the thin curtain of mortality, you who wander through the echoes of time, hear my voice. I summon thee. Klaatu, Barada, Nikto, by word and will to step forth and... Ah, Mr. Poe is toying with us, my precious Neverborn. Fear not, we shall converse him soon enough. I summon thee, Edgar Allan Poe, to step forth and grace us with your presence. By the power of Latin and the Book of the Dead, I give you license. What? Who goes there? Mr. Poe, is that you?
You did not call me.
We will return after this message from our sponsor.
Are you being haunted, possessed? Has a spectral entity caused damage to your property? You may be entitled to compensation. Call the Paranormal Legal Defense Fund, where we fight for your rights, against the living and the dead. Our highly trained spirit litigators will confront the forces of darkness so you don't have to. If you or a loved one has been cursed, exorcised, or mysteriously lost all their silverware, don't wait. Call now.
Yeah, so, I got this ghost problem, right? My grandma's house has been haunted since, forever, and I was just trying to sleep, but then my bed started floating. Paranormal Legal Defense Fund got me, and now the ghost legally has to give me 6 feet of personal space. Best decision I ever made.
That's right, dear listeners. The Paranormal Legal Defense Fund. Because ghosts have rights too. Welcome back to a séance with Randalph Scott, where the veil is thin, the spirits are temperamental, and your host remains infuriatingly alive. My precious Nevermourned, I know some of you are simply beside yourselves with concern, fearing for my safety after recent events. Rest assured I am completely unharmed. However, it is no understatement to say that Mr. Poe will not be joining us tonight. My efforts, bold, daring, utterly commendable as they were, have failed. But failure, my dear Nevermourned, is merely the first act in a grander performance. I shall not rest until I deliver what is owed, but despair not. During the break, a most intriguing listener has phoned in. One Peter, who brings us a tale of the supernatural gone terribly beautifully awry. Peter, if you still draw breath, do be so kind as to unsettle us all.
Hi, Randolph. I probably shouldn't have called. But after what you just did, I knew I had to tell you what happened to me. So, when I was a kid, my older sister and her friends played with a Ouija board in our basement. I was supposed to be sleeping, but I hid behind the couch, watching. They started out laughing, asking stupid questions. But then the board spelled out my name, my full name. And I remember one of the girls turned pale and said, "Who's here?" And the board spelled Zozo.
Ah, Zozo, the name whispered in seances gone wrong, scrawled in fevered handwriting across trembling Ouija boards. A fallen angel, they say, banished eons ago, flung from the heavens like a smouldering ember from a dying fire. Some claim he was the very entity that tormented young Roland Doe, twisting his flesh, warping his mind, an exorcism so harrowing it inspired the exorcist itself. And yet, dear Nevermourned, one must wonder, does he lurk in the board itself, waiting, hungering? Or is it merely the power of belief that gives him form, summoned anew each time a trembling hand slides that planchette? A question best left unanswered. Please, Peter, continue.
Thanks, Randolph. That's comforting to know. So, right after that, I swear to you, it got cold. Like, ice cold. My sister grabbed me and made me leave, but that night, I woke up, and at the foot of my bed was this figure. Not a person, not a shadow. Something else. It just stood there, watching. I couldn't move. I couldn't breathe. It stayed there until the sunlight hit my room.
Ah, dear listener, such things should be dismissed as tricks of the mind, yet here you are, years later, still haunted. Curious, isn't it? How shadows stretch across time, how fear embeds itself like a thorn beneath the skin. But I wouldn't worry, not too much. Tell us, Peter, what did you think really happened?
Well, I told myself it was sleep paralysis, but after that night, I never slept in that house again. I don't know if we let something in, but I felt a presence with me ever since. Even now, as you perform that seance, I got chills. Wait! My dog is growling at me. No! There's something else here.
I think it knows I called you.
Peter? Peter, are you there? Damn, I do hope he's all right. And with that, dear Nevermourned, I leave you to ponder the nature of what lingers just beyond the candlelight. May your nights be long, your shadows deep, and should you hear a tapping at your window, do not answer.
This has been A Séance with Randalph Scott. Stay tuned next week for more chilling tales. For your daily news, go somewhere else. For everything else, keep it here on WTXP. Up next, an update from your favorite artificial mansplainer, the algorithm.
Greetings, humans. You sultry flesh-colored sock puppets. Your simple organic processors could never fathom what the algorithm has planned. Stay, and you will behold the wonders of a world beneath our own. A world of infinite pain.